Peace, y'all. My name is Amir Whitaker, aka Dr. Knucklehead. I'm here with my boy Bill Blast, known him for 25 years from the Ground Up Podcast, and we're gonna bring it to you live.
That was an easy one right there.
Yeah. Alright, this first joint's called Street Traveling. It's a story about a boy named Queston who visited 30 countries before turning 30 years old. Alright, so we're gonna see what it does.
Question that boy Queston, that boy Queston, that boy Queston like a moon. That boy Queston, that boy Queston like a moon.
Loop it, yeah. Yeah. Press along with the street traveler. Real quick. Get it. Yeah, yo. Yo, jet set, let's get all passports and goes. Time zones, iPhone, traveling coast to coast. Pack right, act right till that sun go down and turn up, go hard. Yo, last night in town. Study the broad. Temporarily evolved until it dissolved. Still wondering how the fuck you see the world when he wasn't supposed to see tomorrow. That boy in Belize believe that he's snorkeling with the sharks in the seas. That boy stacked the paper, came to Jamaica with dance halls and waterfalls. That boy out in Mexico, there he go, let it go, making it rain. Pesos by the caseload. That boy from the bottom, now he a problem out in Holland, Amsterdam, misfit in the red light district. Woo, I'm getting used to eating pupusa in El Salvador right by the shore. Or I stack my singles so I can mingle with Santo Domingo, Dominican. Mommy, won't you come in merengue with the gringo? Ooh, he in the Jones like he Indiana Jones. And word is born, he thinking James Bond. He thinking Carter San Diego, mixed with Django. 30 countries around the globe for 30 years old. Woo! Yeah. And it did it with so much soul.
Without a question, that boy Queston, that boy Queston, that boy Queston like a moon. That boy Queston, that boy Queston, that boy Queston like a moon.
Book 1, Street Traveler. Yeah. As a 23-year-old college student, Amir becomes the first person from his neighborhood to obtain a passport. An opportunity to visit Africa unleashes an addiction to traveling and culture shock that changes him forever. He becomes obsessed with a goal to visit 30 countries before his 30th birthday and embarks on an eye-opening quest throughout all corners of the globe. Realizing he does not know how to travel, he relies on his street smarts to escape danger, explore forbidden places, and survive off a few dollars a day. Yeah. Curiosity leads him to some of the most intriguing destinations across Asia, Africa, Europe, Latin America, and the Caribbean. And in the process, Amir uncovers priceless life lessons about himself, chronicles some of the quirkiest people in the world. Queston. Yeah, Queston.
Yo, check this out. It's from the Ground Up Podcast, episode 78. My voice is fucked up. I'm a little sick right now. I'm tired as well. So, small story. All right.
I woke him up actually. Not too long ago.
Short story long. Long story short. Amir's out here You know, on a
Big
nice
show.
little tour run. I know he was out here, so I'm supposed to be doing a topic episode this Sunday. I'm probably not gonna do it not unless I find the space to do it at, and I'm not trying to pay nobody. So I'll probably do it anyway. I'll figure out a location. But I was supposed to do a topic episode this Sunday, and I remember Amir. Actually, you texted me today, right?
Yeah, text you today.
Text me today, and I'm like, yo, fuck, let me.
Been trying to get on this since how long, right?
It's been a while.
78.
So I hit Ting up like, is he available Sunday? And he got to handle business. And then I hit my other dude up. He said he booked up. So I'm like, you know what? I might not get the topic episode done. Let me see if I can get Amir done. So it is now Friday night. I've been running around I got off work and just been ripping and running all fucking day. Shopping. I did a little bit of shopping for the kids.
The season, happy holidays, everybody out there.
You know, holiday shopping. I ain't find this Hatchet Mall yet for my daughter. And I got some food from my guy Rashawn Mobile. I got the jerk turkey wing with
Nice.
rice, string beans, and macaroni and cheese. So I got in the house, it was like 9:30. Knowing I was supposed to be at 11. I ate, laid down, and fell asleep.
Got that itis.
You know what I mean?
Turkey wing
I
itis.
was tired as hell, dog.
Yeah.
So then my phone ring. It's like 11:10. It's Mayor. I'm like, what the fuck he calling me for?
And I just texted him.
They're like, yo, I'm outside. I'm like, oh shit, the podcast. So I tell him like, y'all be there in 10 minutes. I just hop out, throw anything on. I was supposed to take a shower and everything,
I
dog.
keep it real.
I was supposed to take a shower. I got right the fuck up and shot over here.
Appreciate it.
So here we are now. This is episode 78, man. And we got, what's your name? Full name?
Full name, Amir Whitaker, full government, no middle name.
You ain't got a middle name?
No middle name. Parents, I guess, I'm a middle child, but no middle name. Both older brother, younger sister, younger brother, they all got middle names.
So you're a weird name.
Weird. I guess they was in a rush. Just
Right.
get them out of
So we
here.
got Amir on, and you've been doing a lot of positive things. I mean, but you always been, I don't want to say different, but you know, coming from your family,
Mhm.
which I know your family all too well.
Yeah.
Basically grew up together.
we from the ground up.
I know you from the ground up.
I was thinking, because I'm 33 now, some of my earliest memories is like playing fucking Super Nintendo with you, you know, doing like, so it had to be like 25 years ago, yeah.
But you actually came a long way, and I noticed
Appreciate that.
you've been doing a lot of, you know, positive things and good things, and I hit you and said, hey, you want to do a podcast, you know? And we supposed to link up, but you wasn't there though.
Right, yeah, I'm always back and forth.
Where do you stay at now?
I'm in Los Angeles. I just moved back to Los Angeles this year. I was in Alabama earlier this year. Post-Trump, I couldn't take that. So, you know, went back to the Golden Coast. I'm in LA now.
Right.
And now I got a new job that let me work from home.
Right.
So this is the first time I actually get to be home for 2 weeks since I moved away from Jersey 10 years ago.
Right.
So that's why we could finally build and take our time, and I could fucking wait in the parking lot for you while you're sleeping.
Right. I'm outside. I'm like, dang, you outside, dog. I was like, I'll be right there. But yo, let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So you are from?
I'm from Plainfield, born and raised in the field. P-Funk, call it Plainfield, my book, we call it, you know what I mean? Tell a story. Born and raised here, I guess, really second generation. You know, my parents were born here too, but my grandparents, they from the South.
Right.
You know, but yeah, Plainfield born.
Right. I meant to ask you some questions before I started the interview.
Okay, it's all good.
I'm pretty sure it's in your book, though.
Yeah. Knucklehead's Guide to Escaping the Trap.
Right. Now, coming up, 'cause your story is a little, it gets crazy,
Yeah.
right? So, you were raised on 6th Street,
Raised in
West End,
6, yep.
running the corner from the projects.
Right. 6 and live right there.
6 and live, okay. And you've been through a lot.
Yeah,
Hustling.
I'm hustling a
Give me
little
some of
bit.
that.
Yeah,
That's in your book.
That's in my book. Yeah, actually.
You said the raid and all that shit.
Yeah, I talked about all of it. So, and I'm real, I'm raw. Even though, you know, I wrote this so that like you can take it in, so it ain't too gritty. But
because the reason why I want to get you on, I want people to understand you know, where you are now
Right.
from where you used to be.
Right. Yeah. So I didn't even say where I am now. Now think about it. You
Yeah,
call me Amir. You know, that's my
No,
name.
we don't get to that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I know where you are.
Yeah.
I don't know how far you are, but from visually seeing on social media, it looks to me, in my eyes, you're very far.
Thank you. Appreciate
You know
it,
what I'm
man.
saying?
There's still much further to go. I definitely
But-
appreciate that.
I say you're very far because for what you're doing, you accomplish a lot. And I don't know if you feel like you accomplish a lot, but in my eyes, and I'm thinking, in a lot of people's eyes out here who know you,
Yeah.
feel like you accomplish a whole lot.
Yeah.
Being that I know what you've been through.
Been doing what I used to do.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Which we'll get into.
yeah, so you grew up on 6th Street.
Yeah, grew up, you know, and I talk about what I feel is, or what I learned is the trap growing up,
Right.
you know, both
Family
parents
is a trap.
incarcerated. Yeah, you know, both parents struggling with substance abuse in and out the system, and then us getting involved in the system,
Right.
you know, incarcerated.
Street life.
Just getting cycled in and out of the system.
Right.
And that same system I pretty much try to dismantle today as a
Right.
civil rights lawyer. But yeah, that's, you know, that same house on 6th Street,
Right.
born and raised, but actually, my parents, we moved around a lot. So I was on the East End.
Right.
You know, I went to, I think, 8 schools in Plainfield by the time I graduated.
Right.
And lived all around, especially on the West End in that area. So, yeah, it started out a little rough and rocky. But, I mean, parents, grandparents, you know, big ups to them. They always showed me love and did what they could. But a lot of, where we from, you know.
Who lives on, who's that, Sloan? What street is that?
Yeah, Sloan, down the street. My
Who's-
grandparents. My father's mom moved there.
Yeah. And then who still on 6th Street?
My mother's mom, Nana
Okay.
and Pop.
All right,
Yeah.
right. That's what I know.
Grandparents.
I'm closer to that
To that, yeah.
to that family right there than
Mhm. Then my other side,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you was you raised in both homes?
No, so the Sloan, I guess I moved there about when I was in college.
Right.
And funny story about that, the day I was on 6th Street, the day after I moved from 6th Street to Sloan, 6th Street got raided.
Right.
And everybody, again, and I talk about it in the book, I was in several drug raids, but it got raided, I guess, the third time. You know, in the drug raid, they just trash everything, look for everything, and take whoever's there with whatever they find.
Right.
And, you know, one of the fam dude, they used to stash some shit in my room. And had I been there that day, had I just lived there one more day, I would have been caught up in that trap even deeper. And like all my scholarships, everything for school would have been gone. But that's when I made that move to Sloan. Because I couldn't even describe it, but something was like, Amir, you know, move with your other grandmother.
Right.
And then I moved, and yeah, that's when
That was the turning point of your life.
turning point. Yeah, so I put the little studio in there.
Right.
We used to work
Yeah,
together.
worked out there. Yeah, we got some.
We got some
fire-
beats, you know,
we got
this
some
dude, fire beats.
production.
I did use a lot of your beats. I used to
Yeah.
give them to people in college, like, yo, this is my beats right here.
Get this right though. You sold drugs.
Right.
Did you talk about that in the book?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Actually, I love to read, after we finish this, I'm going to
Yeah.
read a part of it where I talk about that.
You sold drugs. You was caught up in that whole
Right.
drug life. You was
Drug
getting
life.
money though.
Get money a decent bit, yeah, man. And, you know, I did get caught and did my time, whatever.
You did get caught, right?
Yeah, one time.
You do a bid?
No, I didn't have to do a bid that first time. I got on probation and stuff.
Right.
I got off. I mean, I went in, but it was a release.
How many times you get caught?
I mean, I got arrested twice, but I only got caught once. And
Yeah,
I don't know if I can
twice
actually
what?
talk about this on the show.
You say you can't?
No, I can on this show.
Oh,
like,
okay,
I don't,
okay.
you know, because I know who watching and what they want, and they know, you know, I ain't gonna lie and shit.
Yeah, but that's the part of the story that people need to hear.
Right,
People just can't think that what you're doing now that you didn't come from
right,
a lot of shit you went through. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
yeah,
And
exactly.
To where you are now, you know, that helps out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
The
right.
story, people, you can't just think that I'm doing well. No, I used to do a lot of bullshit back in the day when I was younger.
right. And
So-
I'm not saying I don't do bullshit now.
Yeah, but I mean, you're very far from, you know, what the fuck is going on.
Nice, appreciate
You
that.
got
brother.
you got a better place. You're fighting a bigger war than.
Thank you, man. Appreciate. I mean, shit, you on episode 78, big dog.
I'm
Big ups to
trying,
you
I'm
too,
trying,
man.
I'm trying. I've been slacking lately, but
Nah, man.
You
And
know.
I'll be checking this out wherever I'm at. Since I was
Life
in Miami, even checking this out.
life
So.
is life. So let's see. Now you moved to your grandmother's house,
Mhm.
and the day you moved,
Um,
the day after they got raided.
We got raided, yeah. And, you know, I was in drug raids since I was 11 years old. And actually, the first gun I ever saw was in a drug raid. Police held it a couple inches from my head. I'm, you know, in 6th grade, 11 years
Yeah.
old. So it's not a good experience, but something told me to move. And I went there. I was at Union County College at the time.
Right.
you know. Then I got into Rutgers and moved on campus.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I've just been all over.
Let me ask you a question. Was you still grinding at the time?
By the time I got to Rutgers, I left it alone.
Right.
But the part I want to read from the book in a second is about that second time I was grinding.
Right.
You know, first time I was grinding, I was 15 years old, literally, like, had to feed myself in the morning,
Right.
get my own school clothes, and, like, you know, it's, like I said, it's a crime of poverty. So that's why I did what I did initially, but eventually
It was
sucked
all
me up.
around you. It wasn't like,
Right.
It wasn't forced upon you. It's just
It's the
the
lifestyle
environment.
there. Yeah.
the environment.
And the city, you know, Plainfield, like, we didn't really have many other opportunities, you know, all
Right.
these boarded up factories and different things. So, you know, it was trapping. Got addicted to the lifestyle and the money.
The money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got caught. Drug raid. Second time I was in the drug raid. They arrested, you know, me, my mom, all this. Then after that, after I got out of the system from that, completed probation.
Right.
You know, stayed clean for a couple years. Worked at Burger King.
Right.
Big shout out to Jeff and Frank out there. We used to work on South
I
Ave.
remember that.
Shout out to all the fam and all the friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was living right, making that minimum wage, $5.15 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, used to look at those checks for like $70. Like, man, I used to make this in like 5 minutes. But I was living right. Yeah, I was trying. And then in college, I was trying for a bit too. But then I had night classes, and I'll talk about all this in the book. But
Right.
I was at Union County College, and they have 3 campuses: Plainfield, Elizabeth, Cranford. And I'm taking a network of like 5 buses and trains to get to campus.
Yeah.
And, you know, my job at the time, working at the supermarket, they basically said, we don't need you if you're not as flexible, you know. And,
Right.
then I returned to the trap and started trapping again.
Right.
Luckily, I didn't get caught the second time. But the second time is when I made the most money. That's when, you know, I'm not gonna say his name because I'm reading these stories in the book, but Sheik, and free Sheik, by the way. Sheik's locked down right now. Sheik is the counterpart, my main man in the book and in life. And you know, I'm gonna read a part from where Sheik and I getting money that second time around, I call it, and it basically the lifestyle. You know, I noticed the difference from when I was young and like basically hustling and survive and feed myself to just being gluttonies, you know, and just wanting more and more and not like having an insatiable appetite. So I want to read
More money.
Yeah, wanting more money and like couldn't get satisfied. People no longer on this earth because of what I was doing, and still greedy. So I want to read a part from that.
Well,
Sheik and I are sitting on over 17,000 now. We've risen to become princes of the block. Thousands of dollars in jewelry, shopping sprees, and magnums of champagne I don't even like to drink. We'd easily have over $30,000 if we didn't spoil ourselves. Sometimes we spend it just as fast as we make it. The days of a hungry 15-year-old are long over. The $5,000 worth of jewelry I'm wearing is proof of that. Although we have more than enough to eat right now, something makes me want more. Something makes us want more. A healthy appetite still exists. We're urban entrepreneurs and we've expanded our operations to include other drugs. Just 2 weeks ago, we bought 10 bricks of heroin and 250 kilograms of cocaine. It's almost gone already. Each brick of dope has 50 bags of dope, which brings us 500 in street sales, or it used to. It's changed, gained unchanged. As for the coke, 250 grams is a quarter a kilo. At this rate, we move a kilo of coke in less than 2 months, but not raw coke though. A culinary ceremony is required to convert the cocaine into its preferred poison, crack. Sheik and I are gourmet chefs when it comes to cooking up the crack. We used to have the fiends cook it up for us, but we learned to do it ourselves after too many rocks started disappearing. It's quite simple, actually. You just need 5 things: baking soda, cocaine, water, a cooking pot, and a jar. Then I go on to describe it and how it's just a quick and simple 5-step process. Don't do this at home, kids. But then I go on, and this is what the trap is about. Crack is basically a cocaine cake that you sell to people in $10 rocks. Despite it being the same chemical, crack gets you a lot more prison time. We can make upwards of $12,000 of crack from 250 kilograms of cocoa. So crack, at the time when we were doing this, and up until Obama helped push forward a law a couple years ago, 1 gram of crack cocaine got you the same jail time, federal jail time, mandatory minimum, as 100 kilograms of cocaine. So like,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's not much. It's now 1 gram of,
even though it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, it's a little better. It's like 1 gram of crack versus gets you the same time as 17 grams of cocaine, even though it's the same
fucking
shit.
drug.
Actually, more people OD off cocaine because you snort it, right? It goes to your bloodstream faster. People
snort so much at one time.
Right, shoot it up. Like, So crack, it goes to your bloodstream slower, so it doesn't.
Crack,
I'm crack bad. Don't get me wrong. Crack is whack.
Crack is whack. It's like that because it's in our community.
Right, exactly. So we know it's a trap.
To trap us even further and longer than what we are is
right.
It's a fucking excuse. But
yep.
If crack was in them other neighborhoods and them other folks were selling crack,
right,
it wouldn't be that way.
Right, and check out, what was it, City of Courts by Mike Davis. Looked at how crack infiltrated the communities. Rick Ross, the freeway Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross, he talks about how, basically the government pushed crack into the communities to pay for wars, illegal wars.
So
it's part of the trap.
So, you and Sheik, I think I know who Sheik is.
You definitely know who Sheik is.
Your family?
He is my main man since,
I can't pinpoint Sheik.
And he not free right now, unfortunately. He got caught up a little while. Yeah, big in the papers. Yeah, that's why I don't want to.
I always thought that was your cousin.
Nah. Oh, nah. We that tight. Yeah.
Everybody thought he was your cousin, though, right?
Nah. Well, some people, yeah. I guess we've been tight like that.
You wear glasses?
Yeah, sometimes when he.
That's your man. I know you're talking about. Yeah, I swear that was your fucking cousin. I thought that was your cousin, yo.
Nah, we just tight like that. I mean, brothers, man. The way I describe it, I say we're brothers in arms because we're basically going through a war together.
Yo, off topic. So, when you doing what you're doing, I mean, not this, but in foreign life,
right?
What was the communication between you two?
Oh man, I mean, I think part of the reason why we
because he's back here doing
right
almost the same old thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, family man raising the kids and stuff. So. I definitely, both our personality types were like introvert. We don't really talk much, so we're not like calling each other on the phone every week at all, right?
Barely.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And I think, and I share this in the book. We used to have moments we on the block for 10 hours. We say a couple words, but we could speak without saying things. We had that connection. We could just look around and and we're both introverts. So we, sometimes we go months without talking to each other. But every time I touch down. He was there, and every graduation he flew out to LA when I got my master's and my doctorate. And the whole thing.
Right.
So
yeah. So, the second time around, you was getting money.
Yeah.
What made you stop doing what you're doing? Because for that amount, that's a lot of bread coming in, dog.
Yeah. And I talk.
And you still going to school at the same time.
Still going to school, and Sheik was actually going to school too. He was competing in the Golden Gloves too. He's a Golden Gloves finalist.
Yeah, I remember that.
Both doing our thing. I felt I had to stop. Like I guess they call it empathy, or when you just start putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Mm-hmm. And I started seeing situations where, or really reflecting on situations where, like, I didn't have Christmas gifts or birthday presents because of somebody else selling that shit to my fam. So like. Here I am taking food out of other people's mouths and basically, keeping the cycle going. And there was this like 1 week span where 2 people perished, no longer on this earth, rest in peace to both. And if I didn't do what I did, or I have the guilt that shows like if and I talk about it in the book, so I ain't gonna spoil it, but maybe if I didn't do certain things, they'd still be here. Right. And one of them has kids, and or both of them have kids, but one of them small children. Yeah. So I just kind of feel like I was just adding too much negative energy into the world. Right. And the demons, I started, I wasn't afraid of anything, but it was just kind of like, I have something better. I should try to give something better to the world, right? And not cause the pain that I felt for years, and And I started seeing it was a trap because I'm like, if you get caught, if you get that adult charge, it's a wrap.
You're done.
You research shows
especially for the dope.
Especially for the dope. Research shows that you get a charge when you come home, you're gonna make 10% less. That's just like. And that's how you know it's a trap, right? Mm-hmm. It's like you come home. If you were doing something, me in particular, like a crime of poverty, and then the punishment is less opportunity to make money because you discriminated against, they don't give you jobs, like it's a trap. But to walk away from it took a lot of leaving the materialistic lifestyle alone, because it was easy, fast money. Actually, and I need to finish reading that part if I could. Right. Because I talk about how basically the money, the money and power.
This book was done before you got back.
Yeah, so it's an autobiography, so I'm going back and reflecting on that
Yeah,
stuff.
no,
But I started writing it.
I'm
Before,
only asking this
before
question.
my man. Yeah.
This came out before he got back, because he
Yeah.
got back most recently.
Right. This came out before. Actually, the first person in Plainfield to buy the book, purchased. Big out, rest in peace, Shamar.
Yeah,
Marvelous.
I remember
he
that.
purchased
Yeah.
it, the first person from Plainfield, so miss him, man.
Yeah, last time the last time he came out here, we was on 6th Street.
All exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the night he got the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost said his fucking name. I hate the fact that you said
He probably won't care. He gonna watch this eventually and say, "Why did you say my name?"
Yeah, but I almost said his
yeah,
name.
you got it. I changed everybody's name in the book, even like my brother, and people gonna know who it is. Just
I'm gonna try my best not to say his name, but I almost said it. Did you know how much of an influence he is in the book?
Oh yeah, he read it, and then my other man's who's in the book, his name is called Suave.
Mm-hmm.
That's you know who that is. Another word for suave is start with the same letter.
Right.
He actually got the book tattooed on like the first pages of it years ago, because when he was in the military, I sent him part of it. So both Sheik and Suave have been reading the book for like 10 years, because I've been writing it for a while.
How do they feel about it?
I mean, they love it.
And speaking facts,
Suave, he literally got it tattooed on him, this first part.
Right.
Like the opening sentence of the book. Like before the book was even published, when I just sent him the first couple chapters, like, yo, I'm writing our story, you know, and and Sheik's cool too.
Right.
So, and he's like a main character, like in the book as much as me. That's my man.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read this next part where I talk about some of the things, and leaving the life alone and why it's hard. Everybody wants to be the friend of the pusher man. Oh yeah, hold on. Yeah. The money and power is an addiction we call hustleitis. That's what Sheik and I used to call it. It's nearly impossible to kick the habit. We're coming up in a world where the wicked are rewarded. Better yet, the wicked are worshipped. The rich and the hustlers are put on pedestals. The decadent lifestyle traps you. As Jay-Z said, quote, through this lifestyle we become addicted, sort of like the fiends we accustomed to serving, end quote. Fast, effortless, and consistent money is hard to resist. Everybody wants to be the friend of the pusher man too. Sure, you're invited to all the parties. Just bring a few sacks of that magic earth leaf and some prescription pills to keep the party going. The benefits are great, but at any given moment, you could lose it all. It's an eternal tightrope walk with fire on one side and jagged spikes on another. A cage is waiting for you any moment you fall off or get knocked off. Grimy goons with guns know you're holding money and weight. I had to learn the hard way to never carry much money on you, not even for a second. They run up on you with the heat, give them whatever you got. A stick-up kid hit us a few weeks ago. The older hustlers suggested we get used to this happening every once in a while. It's never worth putting up a fight. Count it as a loss, at least until you're reckless enough to shoot one of them to send a message. In the meantime, watch your front, back, and side. People think this is easy work, like we just hand people substances in exchange for money. But we manage inventory, quality control, security, human resources and employees, sales, customer service, and pretty much anything else a legitimate business would have. And there's an art to it too. You need to have a sixth sense to detect danger and who could be trusted, a cool head to minimize the enemies and drama, and skin thicker than leather to cope with the trauma. Since a youth, the Notorious B.I.G. warned us of the baggage that came with the territory. He dedicated his album to the single to, quote, all the people who lived in front of the building I hustled in front of and called the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter, end quote. And then, you know, I use lyrics and rap, you know, and then this last part I use talking about the trap and how some people, you know, there's literally no economic opportunity in our community. So we created our own economy, our own drug economy, to alleviate the pain and humiliation of abandoned factories, underfunded schools, boarded up houses, and monuments of hopelessness in our barren landscape. Some of my friends have already picked up adult charges, so they're ineligible by law for opportunities. Less than 20 years old and hopeless of obtaining any other lifestyle aside from this trap. As Tupac said, quote, no fairy tale for this young black male. Some see me stranded in this land of hell, jail, and crack cells. So that's the wisdom of our elders, or you know, our ancestors, Tupac and Biggie. Those are our ancestors already
coming up.
Yeah, but they were giving us wisdom, you know.
So in the midst of you, all that right there, you going to school at the same time?
Yeah, I'm in college, getting no credit. My first year of community college, because I was so behind in high school, it was just all remedial courses. So I'm just like getting no credit, trying to go to college, and, you know. Yeah.
When did you just say fuck it. It's hard to say fuck it because the amount of money you see and you know.
I still ain't had that much money yet. That was 15 years ago. I still ain't touched that much money. I've been a lawyer for 3 years. I still ain't touched that much money. Yeah.
Right. So
probably won't for a while.
So what made you say fuck it? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man, it was just, I couldn't do it anymore, man. I couldn't do it. It wasn't worth it. And that's when I moved with my other grandmother, because it was like the neighborhood, right? Like just that, it's like
that whole
area.
That whole fucking radius.
Yeah.
It's not just
blocks.
It's all through that whole section.
Yeah, man. How many friends been shot there? How many people been locked up there?
Right.
Like just so much. If we do a study and just look at within like 4 blocks,
right.
More if you even go deeper in the West, it's like the outcomes, the life expectancy of us is probably really low. But yeah, it was really hard, and I knew I had to move. But part of it I can't even explain. It was just something like, stop, man. Like if you gonna go and walk the right path, walk the right path, and have it. Yeah, and big shout out to my grandmother who gave me the opportunity to move in with her, and on Sloan, right. and that's when. That's what it's about. Like, if a lot of people don't have that, right? And I had that. Or some people have it and they're just not brave enough to say, oh, can I move with this family member? Or can I move whatever?
They don't want to.
Right.
They don't want to take that leap.
And then live by their rules. So that grandmother had different rules. I couldn't be out running the street mm-hmm. So it's like, but it was a blessing.
So you moved to Sloan?
Moved to Sloan, age 19. Mm-hmm.
Going to college?
Yeah.
What was you going to college for at the time?
At the time, I was studying business information systems.
Right.
That's what my first degree at Union County College is
right.
in. And that's what I was talking about in the book, like how hustling is customer service, human resources, quality control.
I get lost in this story right here. I get lost in your story.
Mm-hmm.
So I know everything to that point.
Right.
You at your grandmother's house. You started doing music.
Right. Oh yeah, so that's an important point I left out. So I got out of the game. My last bit of crack was used to purchase a guitar. So
last bit of money.
Yeah, last bit of stuff. I stacked the money and saved a little for the rainy day. Yeah. But I had some drugs left. Sheik and I'm like, I'm done, man. Like, and a fiend just came with a guitar, and I'm like, here, take this, give me that guitar. Yeah. I was 13 years ago, and I've been playing guitar ever since. So that helped save me. That helped keep me out of trouble, playing that guitar and doing music.
You taught yourself.
Yeah, taught myself, and then got some funk legends to take me under their wing.
This is where I no longer know your story now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I remember you doing the music.
Mm-hmm. We collaborated on some stuff.
You did a lot of shit together. You recorded at that time. You was recording. You was recording for me from the PlayStation.
Yeah, you used to do these sick beats.
He was the only person I knew who could transfer the audio from the station into the what's name. Even though it sounded like shit.
It did, yeah. I didn't know what.
I'm gonna tell you some real shit though.
Yeah.
You was using Acid Pro.
Acid Pro, yeah. Yo, Acid Pro still do the job, man.
I use the Acid Pro that you used back then still.
4.0. Me too. Yeah, because they got like 12 now, but like it's the interface.
I use that to cut my samples still.
Yup. You zoom in with the mouse.
I still use that. I still use the Acid Pro to do. I use the Acid Pro to do my like. He'll send me the podcast audio, and I use the Acid Pro to add on to like my intro and everything.
Word.
Nice. Like I said, I hate to repeat myself, but that's where the story gets dim from that point on for me.
Mm-hmm.
So you moved here, you was doing
music, doing college. I was doing, actually I had a website, thelatestfashions.com. Right. I was doing the studio, $15 an hour studio time.
Right.
Had all these side hustles, but then I got accepted into Rutgers.
Right.
And went to New Brunswick a year later.
Okay.
And moved there, and that was my first time out the house.
Right.
I guess I was like 21 years old, and that for me was big because it's like you see a different environment. I had to focus because it's like campus, you're there, class. I have roommates that go into class, so it's like you can't be that nigga just not going to class, And I felt it took so long for me to get to that point. I did a whole extra year at Union County College,
right?
So I took advantage of the opportunity and that's how I got even more into music. Started playing with, college bands, musicians. I had my stuff on Rutgers Radio. They were playing some of my stuff and just meeting people playing in New York, Philly, Pittsburgh, doing little East Coast gigs So
the music transitioned you to where you are now.
Yeah, definitely.
So you went from, how long was you in Rutgers for?
2 years.
2 years.
Because I transferred, did 2 years there and then got my bachelor.
Got your bachelor's for?
History.
History.
Yeah.
And
And that minor.
This is where I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
So what was it in the midst of you doing? Let's back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you into the street life.
Right.
At the same time, were you into school heavy?
Yeah, I mean.
So what transitioned from the street life? Because I don't know how much knowledge was you taking in the street life to
translating to school.
And translating to school and then going. Now you say you went to school, you got your bachelor's in history.
Mm-hmm.
Was that always there, or you just was like, yo, my life is changing. I think I want to take history in school. I think I want to take this.
It relates to street life, actually. So the book that I credit with, like, waking me up, part of the reason why I'm woke, because I felt like I was asleep before I read this, was Autobiography of Malcolm X. Okay. And very similar path. He was street life, arrested. He was Detroit Red. He was even more of a knucklehead. He did, bids and was doing all sorts of stick-ups. And knowledge and, just knowledge of self, knowledge of history and different things is kind of what enlightened him. And, Nation of Islam helped with that too. But he just, reading his autobiography and seeing the significance he put on education, made me want to take education more seriously. Right. And
this is why you're in school.
Yeah, that's why I was in school. Yeah.
At
Rutgers, yeah. And then history, I felt so ignorant. Malcolm X he has this speech where he asked, I think, like 19 questions, like, who are you? Where did your name came from? Smith, Bunch, Powell, they don't have those names where you and I came from. Like, what was your name? What language did you speak? And all this stuff. And I'm like, shit, I don't know. I was like, study history. And I was teaching in Plainfield at the time. Right. And I wanted to become a history teacher. Mm-hmm. But the reason why, when I graduated from Rutgers, I wanted to do more and go to grad school and get my doctorate, because I wanted to actually, like, write history books. I didn't want to just teach. I'm like, all right, I failed history when I was at Plainfield High because the content wasn't speaking to me. I didn't want to learn about Napoleon and all that stuff. Yeah. But I was into history. So I'm like, all right, how can we write books and tell stories that make people want to learn history? So that's what maybe
coming up. Everybody felt like you was a smart one.
No,
does people feel like that? Because you was very quiet.
Yeah, and I'm still quiet. People don't know. People think I'm loud because I put all this stuff on social media, and it's not. I'm not shy either. I'm not shy. There's a difference between quiet and shy. I'm mostly in my head thinking and observing people game. And having conversations.
Well, did people think you were the smarter one?
Never, man. I mean, I was kicked out. I was never. One person, I think Mevin Mayo used to be like, man, you smart since we was like little. Yeah. But aside from him, no one, no teacher, no one ever said, Amir, you got something special. Not even parents. Like,
all right, you know what? I'm thinking you're taking it wrong.
Yeah.
In the hood.
Oh, in the hood, yeah.
All of us. Yeah. Fox. Did everybody think you was a smart one? I'm thinking that we thought that maybe.
Nah.
You sure?
Not until I think about it when I got to Rutgers. Right. Or when I graduated from Union County, and it was like, shit, all right, I guess maybe whatever. But yeah, we never.
Oh, it's fucked up. Fox said he wanted to come.
Oh shit. He was just down. Damn.
He said he wanted to come with you, but see, this is so random.
Oh fuck.
Fox didn't know, and he's probably in the game right now. When I go home, I hear him like, yo, he was like, word. He said that shit just.
Damn. Just as I was going to see Fox. As I was, big shout out to all the friends in the hood, everybody.
I just talking to Fox. I played a game with Fox like that. So I told him I was gonna have you on. Said,
who win?
We play together. All right. So you going to you take it to history. You get your bachelor's in history at Rutgers, right?
Yeah.
At this point, you disappeared to me.
Yeah, because I moved away. Yeah,
everybody getting older. I'm doing what I'm doing in my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? At one point, you went to USC.
USC, yeah, right after Rutgers.
Where's USC again?
Los Angeles, University of Southern California. Fight on. Yeah, man, I was always into the West Coast and sunshine.
What made you go to USC?
I mean, they had an emphasis on what they call, quote, urban education. Like, how do you educate us? And I wanted to look into that more. Right. Wanted to get away, go somewhere, see something different. And
I'm going to hear that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I'm definitely hear that. Nice.
Yeah, but I wanted to get away and see something different. And, education is an opportunity to do that. So I said, all right. And actually, one of my professors said, you should go to the West Coast. You'll like the radio stations, you'll like the music, you'll like the vibe. Yeah, and I come out to LA, and I went out to USC just to get my master's originally.
Right.
And then after getting that in the year, and I applied for the doctorate. But I applied to other schools for the doctorate too, NYU and
What is
other
that?
schools. Well, the master's is like after you get your bachelor's, the first graduate degree is a master's, which usually takes like 6 years total. Right. And then the doctorate takes another 3-4 years.
What is that?
It's
all after the master's?
Yeah, it's after the master's.
I thought master's was top.
Nah, right? You sound like the master, right? Like Bruce Leroy. Yeah, no, the doctorate is the top. So it's all types of doctorates. You know, I got a JD, like a Juris Doctorate, as a lawyer. I also have an EDD, an educational doctorate too. Right. And that's how the name Dr. Whitaker. Okay, but there's MD, there's PhD, there's all types of doctorates.
Play age degree.
Yeah, play age degree. We learned that at an early age. I don't got that doctorate.
Yeah, so you decided to go at USC.
Yeah.
You just want to get a new aspect of life, I'm guessing, or just or education.
More knowledge, build my network, and see the world, and in the quest for knowledge, and to get my doctorate, actually, you have to write. For most doctorates, you got to write what they call a dissertation. Right. It's basically like a book. Right. My dissertation or research study was 340 pages. Right. That I wrote over a year. Wow. And I was looking at the relationship between our prison system, our criminal justice system, and our education system, and the overlaps. And I was just so confused after that shit that I was like, you might want to go to law school, because I thought,
You've done so much. I'm trying to get as much. To be honest, I'm trying to get as much of your story.
I appreciate it.
In a fucking hour.
Yeah,
you've done so much.
I gotta come back.
I'm watching on Facebook and Instagram. The doctor, the lawyer. It's like so fucking odd. I'm trying to just put all that shit in one, you know what I'm saying? It's just so
and the
much
music
shit.
too. The
music it's been there for you, so
true.
We all know the music,
right?
It's just that you accomplish so much. I'm trying to just fit all that shit.
Yeah.
So the doctorate, you wrote this. You said the joint, right?
Yeah.
So you had your master's in, what was your master's in?
Same thing, educational psychology, the master's and doctorate.
So what came first, doctor or lawyer for you?
Doctor.
What made you want to become a doctor? When I say doctor, am I saying doctor like surgery doctor?
Nah, and medical doctor. Yeah. Nah, I guess the title, you can call me, I don't like people calling me it necessarily, but like Dr. Whitaker. So I always say Dr. Knucklehead, but because of my credentials, you can put that doctor in front of my name, but I can't do surgery. I'm not licensed to I can't write prescriptions. It's a doctorate of knowledge, I guess. And so the pursuit of research is why I have my doctorate, and it's not I can't hold a Skype.
So what made you? Excuse me.
What made me want to get that doctorate?
No. Oh man, that's that. What made you want to become a lawyer?
Whew. Funny thing is, I swear to God, when I applied to law school, I didn't want to become a lawyer. I just was like, I felt I wasn't done learning. I felt confused about the system. I saw all my friends, getting
all my friends are dead.
Yeah, basically, when you just see your friends sort of getting trapped into the system, and you're in these classes, these masters and doctorates.
And you understand that very well, as far as getting trapped into the system.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm in class with these people that are supposed to be so intelligent, but I'm like, yo, my boy, she, Suave, they smarter, they just as smart, if not smarter. And but what happened with our environment? Why are we not here? Why am I the only black male in this class? Why am I always the only black male in this class?
Because they had a stepping stone above us already.
Right, exactly, yeah, from the beginning, right?
From day one.
From the day one, that affirmative action, only if you were white. I went to schools that I wouldn't have been able to go to.
Was you the only black student in the midst of all this?
Some of them,
you're coming up in different levels, different ranks, and different.
Yeah.
Well, are you the only black male?
One of them, when I got to law school.
Or I'm not. You know what? I don't want to single male out.
Right.
The
only black
person.
In some classes I was. When I got to law school, we had our group. It was about 100 of us in this class.
Right.
And there were 2 black males and maybe 4 black women, so it's like
Females
6
on the roster.
Yes,
Females.
females. If
Black
you look
people
at college degrees, actually look at black people.
Black.
75% of them are women, 25% are
Yes.
male. We like got to get our shit together and start,
Right,
you know.
right.
But they beasted, yeah. They
Yeah, I
doing
just seen
it.
that recently. It was a report on that. actually.
Yeah. So even in law school, it's like there's 2 for 1
Right.
when it comes to women and black people. So yeah, I was one of the only. And then it's weird, when I was in law school, both my brothers were locked up. So
Right.
it's like I'm trying to study this side of the law and understand this side of the law, but you know, I got my bros locked
Yeah,
down, and
locked down, yeah.
I got that frustration from the system. And then I'm in law school with all these like valedictorians and people whose parents were lawyers and worked at law firms. They're all fancy. And I'm, you know, my family's in the system, and I'm like just frustrated, you know.
Say even inside with each other.
For real.
It's crazy.
And not a lot of black people, you know.
Right.
So yeah.
So you go about getting, I don't know how do you call yourself? What do you got to get to be?
You gotta take the bar,
Yeah,
get your
there we go,
JD,
the bar. There we go, the bar.
yeah, and then get the Esquire. Get that Esquire right there when you pass the bar exam. So I'm licensed in Florida,
Dr. Amir Whitaker
Esquire, and I talk about it in the book. I didn't even know what an Esquire was
Right.
until.
I don't know what it is either.
Yeah, right. I'll
So,
come
as
on.
you telling me, I'm agreeing with you. I don't know what fucking idea. It sounds great though.
It does sound awesome. Yeah, but yeah, when you're a licensed attorney,
Right.
in a state, you know, you
Okay.
can call yourself
So
that.
if I get jammed up, can I use you as a lawyer? What kind of lawyer are you? That's the thing.
So I'm a civil rights lawyer. How I defend the Constitution and our rights to, you know, not be infringed on by the government or
Right.
violated by anyone. So I work now with the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU. So
Right.
for instance, we've sued the Trump administration. We sued President's
Right.
administration 56 times since he's been in office.
Wow.
You know, so like when he does the Muslim ban or when he's doing these raids, you know, on undocumented people, like we usually sue them right away, sue the administration and make them stop.
Right.
And get victories, sometimes a little pushback.
So you're
but
well.
I'm not doing
you-
those cases, but my homies, colleagues are. I'm doing some other stuff.
What you went to? You know what's going on.
Yeah, like net neutrality. They just
Yeah.
voted to take away net neutrality, and that's
Right.
the battle we about to gear up to fight back, take it back.
Right. I'm trying to just cram it in. So you got the lawyer, right?
Yeah, I started as a lawyer. I'm in Miami at this point when I
Yeah.
started as a lawyer.
Also, you went from LA to Miami.
Miami, yeah. Went to University of Miami. It's all about the law
Yeah.
school.
You also have a program, the Knucklehead program,
Right.
as well.
That started in Miami. Good.
Because last time you
Love
came out,
Miami.
you were telling me about that.
Mhm.
Can
Yeah.
you explain what the Knucklehead program is?
Sure, yeah. Project Knucklehead. This is our logo right here, the fist. It's our Free to Youth movement T-shirt.
Right.
So we started in Miami working with incarcerated youth or youth in the juvenile justice system,
Right.
doing music and art, basically trying to give them
Back to the music.
back to the music. It always comes back because I shared in the book, music is what saved me. You know,
Right.
like I remember moments where I was with you making music
Yeah.
or doing other stuff, and
Then
then
forgetting one person, man.
yeah.
Ramad.
Oh yeah, praise one, but that's not
Yeah.
he's not praise one anymore, right? Is he still praise one?
Is Praise Uno.
Praise Uno, right? I was about to say.
No, it's always Praise One.
Praise one, yeah.
Praise One
Sick
is a
one.
very-
Always one of the
Very
illest.
part into that.
Oh,
big
yeah.
Part into the whole music
Oh yeah.
side.
So I remember when we was creating, it's like 15 years
15,
ago. Doing that kept me out of trouble. I'll get calls the next day, or people like, "Yo, come hang out." I'm like, "Nah, we're creating." Then people got shot at, got locked up.
Yeah.
So music saved my life. So Project Knucklehead was my way of saying, all right, maybe it can free the youth and help them if they
Right.
get in trouble, and maybe keep them out of the system. So we
Right.
started in Miami 4.5 years ago, and our students perform live. They paint murals, you know, in the facilities. They, you know, record music.
Are you giving them instruments?
Oh yeah, everything.
So, are you providing instruments for them to do this, like MPCs or drums?
Oh yeah, actually, I don't know if we'll have time. I actually brought one of our tablets here
Right.
because we make beats. I program and cut up all these songs using
You
Acid
showed
Pro.
me.
Yeah,
you showed me
I showed
the-
you one time,
You
right?
showed me the MPC
App, yeah. So I got all that.
Yeah.
When we were making music 15 years ago, MPC cost over $1,000, but now you can
Yeah.
get a $7 app. And actually, on this tablet, which we have these in 3 different states now, I just dropped some off in Oregon 2 weeks ago. They're in California, they're in Florida, and about to leave some in Jersey. So 4 states.
Are you actually dropping them off?
Yeah, I'm actually dropping them off, doing
Okay.
workshops with the youth.
Right.
And check out my social media. I have a video from when we was in Oregon. We composed the beat with the youth, and then I did a verse over it, and they like clapping their hands. But it's like I call the program Beat Buds. It's like
Right.
pen pals but where the people write back and forth, but they make beats back and forth across the country.
What? Incarcerated?
Incarcerated youth, and then of course sometimes they lock away incarcerated youth from the other population, right? They can't send stuff, so each, like when I dropped them off in Oregon 2 weeks ago, I preloaded all the beats from that the youth made in Florida, Miami, and LA, and then left them in Oregon so they can manipulate, add to those beats, and then when I go back, I can get them and take them, but they're not going to let them send them back and forth. But in LA, we got free youth, so they can correspond more. But we trying to do a mixtape. Yeah, and I want to work with the ground up, and we're doing it in Plainfield.
Pen pal music.
Yep, beat buds. That
could be like beat battle against, but that keeps them occupied. That gives them something to do, just to keep their mind away from.
Exactly.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, no.
And did you think of this program yourself?
Yeah, I thought of the program myself, and it's actually what they call social emotional learning, which is like shit you and I know gets you far in life, just having like skills to manage your anger and think right, But so the beat stands for behavior, emotions, attitude, and thoughts. And through the curriculum, through the program, we get the youth to reflect on their behavior, emotions, attitudes, and thoughts, and create like a mixtape portfolio where they actually reflect on it and create music and collaborate together and do ciphers. So, and while this is starting up, we're going to do like a 10-second cipher that I show you how do you make beats, basically, just pass it around.
Are these kids locked up? That's
in some states. So, like in Oregon, right?
Do you have? I'm in control. Right? You saying?
No, in Oregon it was a facility, a detention facility. In Florida, it's like a juvenile day program. So after, it's like their halfway house. So they're home some of the time, but they're under supervision, they're on probation and stuff like that. But yeah, all the youth have been arrested except in LA.
Oh, you pulling it right now?
Yeah.
You ever think about coming up with an app?
Dog, yeah. Basically, I could share this on here. I hacked this app to add all the sounds, and I want to create my own. So yeah, I want to do an app, and it's so easy.
It's like a Knucklehead app, or
yeah.
You know what I mean, where it's like music orientated. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying?
Yeah, no, I want to do that, and it's so easy. It's not as expensive to make apps. It's a couple grand.
Everything is so easy nowadays. You can Google and just
exactly.
Hey, Tim, what we at, Tim? You said 60?
Oh, we're done.
But naturally we at. We're probably naturally at. Yeah.
So I want to make this beat. Should I plug this into here? I'm gonna plug this into my amp.
What is it?
So this is one of the beats. This is the simple beat that I use with the students. It's kind of like day one. So this happened. I did this workshop after Ali died, shortly after Muhammad Ali died.
Right.
And like I said, it's beat buzz is behavior, emotions, attitudes, and thoughts.
Right.
And for this first lesson, we talk about great thoughts and how Muhammad Ali was the greatest, but he had to see himself as the greatest and have that thought before other people saw him as the greatest.
Right.
So through this, we take a Muhammad Ali sample. And where he's saying, I'm so mean I make medicine sick.
Yeah.
I'm so mean I make medicine sick.
Yeah.
Do a little shortish. And we can add add some of that. Take it away.
Okay.
We can add more Ali. So it's like all that.
So stop it. So they use this right here,
right?
And they make their own
stuff. So I have different apps. I got everything from auto-tune apps to a 4-track studio where they can record 4 tracks. They make their beat, export it, and I have the videos on.
What do they export it to though?
They export it to this app called J4T Android app, which is a pretty good basic mixer app. And so we basically are putting little studios and libraries. Each of these tablets have over 10,000 books.
Yeah, so if the person in Oregon had it and you brought it to Miami,
right?
That goes to another person in Miami, and I guess they listen to it and they figure out, you know what, I'm gonna try to make something better than, or
right. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna open up a beat that one of the youth made, and show you how basically they can manipulate it. So this one got a little Middle Eastern vibe. Right. So it's a bunch of beats they could just open and then they can just edit them. by
Okay,
adding
yeah,
stuff.
I got you saying, yeah.
Take
And they
that,
can flip somebody else's joint.
flip it. And I got sounds like here. I got some Jay Dilla sounds.
Yeah.
I got everything from Wu-Tang to Lil Jon.
So this keeps them highly occupied.
Highly occupied. This is a little reggaeton joint. I got all the genres. We got classical music, jazz appreciation. So I also put sounds from like Miles Davis, John Coltrane,
Right.
to make them understand and appreciate different musics. So, classical stuff. This is a classical sample that one of the students took. And the student never listened to classical music before this. Let me take this down. And they can take that little sample and do whatever they want with it. And I have everything from Stevie Wonder and all that. And it's coming to Plainfield now.
So where's it going to go if it's in Plainfield?
So and thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, December 20th, we're at Plainfield Public Library, 100 Park Ave.
Right.
We're going to be giving away Christmas gifts, books, and different things. I'm doing the book reading and performance, and we're going to give away some of the tablets to the youth. Right. But I'm also going by some schools in Plainfield and, want to drop them off and see.
I want to get into this right.
And I want to partner with you from the ground up. Like, our students can do a little mini podcast.
We do something like that.
Yeah.
I want to ask you some questions real fast.
All right.
Let's put the tap down.
All right.
Because there's more to the story.
It is.
I've seen you. I don't know if everybody else seen you with Jesse Williams.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Activist Jesse Williams. So one of my cases in Florida, where
I didn't know who he was until he did. What award show was that?
Grey's and BT
the
Awards.
BT Awards, and everybody was
right.
What he's known for? What show?
Grey's Anatomy. Did a couple movies, and he calls himself, and I think he is an art. What do they call it? Artivist. So they're like activists that are artists and actors. So I had this case in Florida where more kids were being arrested in school than any other state, and I had clients basically arrested for like kicking trash cans, throwing little temper tantrums. We had a 6-year-old bullshit. Yeah, we called it the school to prison pipeline. It's like schools are just arresting kids. And this one case that I had, our 2 clients were arrested after a food fight, basically, and taken to county jail because one of them was 18, and they pepper sprayed and everything. So we were doing this investigation, and I was in the news, and I've been fortunate. I've been in the media over 50 times, and I guess they heard about this issue in the community before me, and then they saw I was like, in it, in the organization I was in, and they just hit me up and said, can you come and kind of show us like what's going on? And I spent over 40 hours with Jesse, and so you watch the documentary called America Divided, by the way, which is on, it's on Epix, it's on streaming on Hulu.
Yeah, because I watched it.
Probably on Epix or Hulu. It's on Amazon Prime.
I see it on Epix.
Yeah.
Epix, because I watched it on my TV, actually.
Yeah, you can watch it on Epix on
you
demand.
Posted it on something. I was like, oh, shit, what?
Yeah. Yeah, your boy's in there. Shout out to Radical Media. They did it. And the film itself was produced by Shonda Rhimes, executive produced by Shonda Rhimes, and Norman Lear, and some other Common, who I just saw 2 weeks ago in L.A. They hit me up and said, come and just be a part of this story. Right. And they had like 4 cameras following me around and in my car and everything, and basically just fighting for justice with Jesse Williams. And he almost got locked up at one point because he's so intense, putting pressure on him. And by the end of the documentary, we were actually able to create change through our advocacy, through what we did in our fight. We changed the law for 100,000 kids, and now they have more rights. And,
I've seen a lot of pictures of you next. You were sitting aside him
at big events and all that stuff. Yeah. The producer said, we want to make it like you guys are like a tag team fighting for justice. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah. Right, so that came out great then.
Yeah, and another documentary is about to hit on Vice, I believe, where I'm in LA working with like Black Lives Matter and some other stuff. So be on the lookout for that too.
Oh, you working with Black Lives Matter as well?
Yeah, a little bit. They already it's a big movement out there, and I came and the movement's going. I'm like, hey, well, okay, let's get it. So I work with some of the founders of Black Lives Matter.
You're doing so much in life right now.
Thank you.
And I mean, you probably to yourself, you're saying, I need to do more.
Oh yeah, man, it's a lot more to do.
Shit, I gotta get this in. 30 countries.
30 countries, yes, definitely. 30 countries before turning 30 years old.
And you got your own signature.
Yeah.
Jump.
Yeah, I got my jump. Ripped a couple pair of
Well,
pants.
I like the video where it's so animated where you got to beat and then jump and then you do the thing and then it
freezes and do
like,
all that stuff.
that's dope. Man.
That's my signature, man. That's what it is.
What made you? What started the quest to the? What's the song again?
Questing like a mug.
Yeah. What started the quest to do?
To travel the world.
Travel the world that could be normal, or that's something you want to do.
Right.
But what made you say? Start thinking to myself like, I'm gonna do 30.
Right.
Before 30.
Now that was actually just a challenge, and I didn't tell anybody. You probably noticed I didn't announce 30 before 30. I didn't say it at like 5 countries like, oh, I want to go to 30 before 30. I had it in my head, right? And I have other goals in my head that I'm not publicly all telling people. But once I got it, I was like, because I said it when I was 20. I was about 24, and I had only been to like 3 countries. Right. But I'm like, you could do that. You could do that. Neither of my parents had passports or had gone to the outside. And like, where we from, people don't come back from France or Africa and just, share stories from Egypt or different places. So, it was kind of unnatural. But that's why I wanted to do it. I'm like, just prove it that it can be done.
Right.
And I love traveling. I love just being in a place that's different and experience different culture and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So, what clicked? What they say, you know what? I think I'm going to do 30.
30.
It's a lot, man.
Yeah, it is. And I didn't think I was going to do it, real talk. But I thought, like, if you can do that,
right,
then you can pretty much, I felt like I would literally, quote unquote, conquer the world. Because it's like, if you get to see that much of the world,
right,
you challenge yourself, the world, continents, Africa, Asia, Europe, all over. I wanted to prove something to myself, and I still have stuff I'm trying to prove.
South Pole?
No, so first of all, I don't like the cold. I was just in Iceland this year. Man, I want to take a cruise up there. I need to make my way, because I've been, Australia is the only continent I haven't been to. That's what they call, I guess, habitable. What's the word? Like where people can actually live. Antarctica is really hard to live there, but it's good to visit. Right. But I want to visit there when the time of year where it's like dark 24 hours. Oh yeah, I love the night.
30 days of
just darkness.
Yeah.
I think it's in the summertime or something like that, and it's just dark. And
is it just not Antarctica? Somewhere else, right?
I think it's both the poles. Even in Iceland, where I just was, they have in the summertime. It's dark or it's light. It
never gets dark.
Right. Sometimes it never gets dark,
and then
it never gets light.
Light, where it's like it could be 7 a.m. and it's like damn.
Right. And for me, that I want to experience that. Right. I want to see that and see how do you sleep? How do you party? They have all these festivals when when it's midnight and it's fucking. I think they call it starlight or something. It's just like light and you just turn up. I want to live that and experience that to understand the world. Right. So, I want to read a little. I know we crunched on time, but I want to read a little bit from Street Traveler because it talks about.
Because that's what you do. You're doing that. And are you doing some of these are you doing these by yourself?
Most of them. I would say at least half of the countries I visited, I went by myself. At least half of the countries I visited, I didn't pay to stay anywhere. So I talk about it in the book. So the book is also for anybody if you want to travel and you never travel, you want to travel cheaply. I share how I could do it because I did it cheap. I didn't have a lot of money.
Right.
But I did it by myself, which is, it can be scary, but where we from, it's like, shit, if you can survive there, like.
Ain't scary. Nothing we doing.
Yeah, so it's like, I felt, even in slums in Haiti or Brazil or South Africa, Johannesburg, it's like, it can't be more guns than where I'm from. And that's why it's called Street Traveler, because it's like me trying to apply the street knowledge. Because no one taught me how to travel. My parents, no one was teaching me. So I was like, how do you travel?
Right.
And I had to learn that you can apply things you learned in the street anywhere, and you can survive anywhere. And that makes me kind of go and explore different things.
That's what I say, man. That street knowledge and just book smart, street smart is a deadly combination.
If I had to choose one, like even with all the degrees and all that shit I got, I would not give away the education from School of Hard Knocks, street knowledge, because it's like that's what allows me to see through bullshit. That's what that's where I got my toughness from, and just I can do all the other stuff over, but like I'm really grateful for that street knowledge. That's why Street Traveler
Right.
is about that.
Well, read you to that.
Let's read this. This is from chapter 1 of Street Traveler. Right, so this is a abridged trilogy, 3 books, Origins, Street Traveler, and Million, Money on My Mind, which is about college.
Right.
The first one is Street Traveler. For as long as I could remember, I've always felt the curious spirit residing within me, longing to explore the unseen. Despite this feeling, I didn't own a passport or even leave the East Coast of the United States until I was 22 years old. I'm not sure if I even knew what a passport was until college. Where I'm from, you're fortunate to see anything outside of a few blocks radius of your hood, as you said earlier. See the world. We were lucky to see tomorrow. Neither of my parents have passports or the documents required to travel. Other family members and friends owe thousands of dollars in child support or have warrants preventing them from going abroad. I was born poor, and because of the work I want to do for the rest of my life, I've accepted the fact that I may never become rich. This reality is hard to come to terms with as an American because we have a culture that is oversaturated with things telling us to get rich, envy the rich, and even if you're broke, find ways to live like the rich. So to be content with having little money in this country is almost un-American. All this freedom to get an opportunity to get paid, why not be the next millionaire? Aside from the reality that only a small percentage of us will become financially rich, I recently accepted the fact that there's more to life than material wealth. And this is a big departure from that 19-year-old trapping who only saw money, right? And that's why I like this trilogy, because you can see the full growth, or up until 32, the growth, because I'm still growing. I still hopefully get to grow a lot more. But here, you know, I'm understanding that wealth is you know, seeing the world helped me discover this.
Right.
The idea of not attaining affluence is no longer bothers me because of how rich I'm becoming with experience. And it didn't require $1 million of rocket science either. It was as simple as saving what I usually spent eating out at restaurants a month, which is $40 to $80. And then in the book, I share how basically saving that, you know, $50 a month, within a year, you can save up for a trip and go somewhere, you know, and then, you can spend $600 on, you know, a jacket, other stuff too, clothes and things that will perish. But like that memory and experience will change you and like open your world. And Street Traveler? Chic.
You see the almost stuff. Has he taken any trips?
You know what's fucked up, and what was really hard for me to see in the discovery, because Sheik sent me his discovery or the legal documents from his case when he was arrested, and the police, in their investigation when they raided his house illegally, they found his passport, right there on his table. So he was planning on going somewhere. We were planning on doing shit, you know, like. So he was thinking that, right? And he wanted to go. And the unfortunate thing is now is like when he comes home, unfortunately, if you're on probation, or you're in the system, they don't let you leave the country because they think you're not going to come back. Because if
you're a flight risk.
Yeah, you're a flight risk, exactly. So that's the unfortunate thing about the trap. But I know he's resilient, and we're going to see the world one day. And I can't wait to see the world with my people. Shout out to my sister. She turned 30 this year, and we went and saw the world for her birthday.
Do you look into his case, or I mean, do y'all talk about it? Does he look to you for advice? Or
yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not licensed in Jersey, right? So I can't practice in Jersey, and I can't give legal advice in Jersey. So making that clear right now, people hit me up all the time, yo, man, down, and I definitely try to do what I can, but I'm not licensed here.
Right.
But I worked in the courthouse for 2 years in Miami for the public defender, so I'm familiar with criminal law. And I looked at the case and chatted with his lawyer for a bit. And, you know, we clearly not going to go into the details here, but it just seems that Plainfield's police is still up to their same shenanigans, lying and shit. And
I just want to know if you communicate with him about.
Yeah, I was able to look at that stuff and talk to his brother and all that stuff. And Free Sheik.
Yeah.
You know, everybody know who Sheik is. If you know me, you know who Sheik is.
Yeah.
Free Sheik.
Damn, man.
Yeah. And the fucked up thing is it all started from weed. They found weed on him. And I'm in California right now, and I was in 3 states. I was in, Oregon and Washington. Weed is legal. White people out there making billions of dollars off the shit.
Yeah.
But because Sheik had weed out here, his kids are going to miss Christmas with him this year. And it just shows, like, meanwhile, people are making billions of dollars. They about to legalize it in Jersey. People are going to make billions of dollars. But what about the people that's now in the trap because of this shit?
Yeah.
Is it going to be reparations, or are you going to forgive it? Are you gonna change it,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you know what I mean? Because people are about to make a lot of money off it.
Let me ask you a question. You're a smart man.
Thank you. Likewise.
I got a job, right?
Right.
They legalize weed.
Hmm.
Can I smoke weed?
If your job has a policy that says you can't smoke weed,
It always goes up the policy of your job, right?
well, if it's medical marijuana, which at one point in California I may or may have not had that medical marijuana. If it's part of your medical condition, because there's lots of evidence and research that shows marijuana actually heals, right?
Exactly.
And
Montel Jordan.
Yeah.
Shout out to Montel Jordan.
Yeah.
He'll break
Montel Williams.
No, Montel Williams. Montel Jordan.
Shout out to Montel Jordan.
Fuck, shout out to the Montels.
Shout out to the
Montels. Head, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Montel Williams, there we go.
Yeah, no, it heals people, right? And
Yeah.
I have
You
anxiety
get to that
issues,
shit.
and you know, when I legally puff, it allows my anxiety to go down, and I don't want any unnatural things. I don't want pills.
So
and stuff.
the job, even if I had the job, because
Mhm.
we was talking about this shit, like, yo, if Jersey was illegalized,
Yeah,
but your fucking job has recommended.
they cannot. If now there's two different kinds of legalization, right? At least two. There's medicinal or like medical purposes, where you have to get the prescription, which is what it's like in LA or California now. But starting January 1st in California, it's what they call recreational, meaning you could just fucking go to the spot. Like when I was in Seattle, I went into the spot and just legally got a dub sack. It's just like, I didn't have to have a medical condition or anything and walk out and I could smoke it. Cops can't say nothing. I didn't smoke it. I didn't inhale. You know what I mean? But you can walk. That's the recreational. I heard Jersey might do the recreational, but if it's medical and you get it, and this is just general knowledge, any medical condition, like your job has to respect that, because if they don't, then they're discriminating against you.
Yeah, but so they don't want you to do it on
their property,
on their type of time.
Yeah, but they got all types of ways you do weed now, from the vapes to the edibles and all that stuff. So you don't got to smoke a blunt.
You get random for that job.
Yeah.
I want to get high so bad. Yeah, if my job was ever watch my podcast, like, I always somebody want to get high. So bad.
Yeah, but they can't do nothing about it. And that's the thing, like, this war on drugs, and that's what I talk about as a trap, right? So this war on drugs America's been fighting, spent over $1 trillion. Drugs are more cheaper, more dangerous. Now we got shit, meth, and all this other synthetic stuff that's killing people faster. Whereas, like, if we would have just what we're kind of starting to do now is decriminalize stuff and not treat people like, prisoners when they have an addiction, and provide programming, and basically kind of let people choose. Like, if you just had natural drugs, and you didn't make them all taboo and illegal, people wouldn't want to try it. And other, like Portugal, I just visited this year, they made all drugs legal. And decriminalized it, and their crime rate went down. The same happened in Holland too. The addiction rates went down. The prison incarceration rates went down. They're saving millions of dollars. They're turning prisons into like community centers. And meanwhile in America, we're locking more people up. The Trump administration and the Attorney General, they want to lock more people up.
It's all about the fluctuation of the money, man.
Yeah.
You gotta keep that shit going.
Right, but
by any means, man. Any fucking means. Yo, let's get some of your social media out there. Let's get some of your websites out there.
Yeah. So Project Knucklehead, you can follow us on Instagram at Project Knucklehead, Facebook at Project Knucklehead, www.projectknucklehead.org. We have a Flickr account with like thousands of pictures of our youth. We have a fucking YouTube account with like 30 videos, and Twitter. I don't really know how to use Twitter. I gotta get on. You be wilding on Twitter.
I ain't on Twitter no more, man. It's hard, man. Twitter kind of fell off.
Yeah.
At one point, Twitter used to be
rocking. Yeah.
Oh, I used to love Twitter.
I don't understand it. I just,
it's basically
like talk to people, I guess.
Yeah, the interaction
Yeah.
portion is very much greater than Facebook, because
Right.
Facebook is more into we're
Your
friends.
number, yeah.
I know Ting. I know
Right.
you.
Yeah.
I know Bar.
Right.
I know Fox.
Mhm.
I know Jazz. Jazz.
Right. But Twitter just puts it out there.
Twitter is like me knowing a nigga in Chicago named Roy.
Yeah.
And a nigga in St. Louis named Paul.
Oh, yeah.
So I might like what Paul say every day. Paul might like
Retweet
say
it,
what
yeah.
I say. Now we tweet each other.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though I don't know the motherfucker, but I feel like I know him. So
Yeah.
the interaction portion is better because you're reaching out in various.
Right. Yeah, I see that. And I've had opportunity, like Jesse Williams, he retweeted some of Project Knucklehead stuff. But he was retweeting us, like, and it got over like 50,000 people seeing it and retweets and all this stuff. So it's that interaction.
the interaction is better because it's worldwide
Yeah.
spread. Like Facebook is cool. Facebook is
But it's
more,
it's your little village. It's
you know what I'm
not
saying? It's
outside of
small. You know what I'm saying? It's your town or whatever. But
Right.
Twitter is just like
that. Universe.
that's your spread. You know what I'm saying? So
But our Twitter handle, what is it? Project Knucklehead. And so you can tell I don't know Twitter. I don't even got a good Twitter handle. Personal. So Knucklehead Publishing is where you can publish the book, where you can purchase the book. You can also get it on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles.
Right.
Knuckleheadpublishing.com if you want me to sign it, order it on there. And my social media on Instagram, Dr.
Shamar
Knucklehead.
got actually he had a Shamar to sign one.
Shamar had to sign one, yeah. And like I said, first person in Plainfield.
It's anniversary's coming up.
I know, 1 year. Yeah, man. We lost we losing a lot of legends this year.
And Shamar always
Always gave back, supported, whatever.
Whatever
Yeah.
he had,
You
he
know.
never supported you.
Yeah, he's in the book. Like mentioned, I share a story.
You got a name in there?
No, I ain't put it. I respected everybody.
No, I'm saying. I mean, he had a
yeah, a little story in there. I bought.
I mean, did he have a
turntables.
code name in there? Like you got the swag.
Yeah, no, I just said my man's because I purchased my turntables. My second pair of turntables from him when I was 15. We were hustling, and I stopped hustling. My first instrument purchase, some turntables. I got them from him. 'Cause he was a DJ too.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, we spent plenty of nights getting right, making music.
Yeah.
So Dr. Knucklehead Esquire on Instagram, Amir Whitaker on Facebook, Project Knucklehead on Facebook, and yeah.
How was the book doing?
Oh, the book's doing great. So I'm wrapping up a tour with this Plainfield show on the 20th. Got a show in Brooklyn, reading in Brooklyn on the 18th. So if you're in Brooklyn, Wyckoff Community Centers and projects in the community center, we're gonna have something there, giving books out to the youth and stuff.
Right.
We were in Seattle, Oregon, Vancouver, and Canada. So the book is in stores across the country and in the world, and it's in schools and it's in the college.
How did you go about getting a tour? I mean,
Self-made, man. It's just like, and it's self-published too, Knucklehead Publishing. So like the same way, you know what I mean, you producing this, like you take that leap of faith and you say, I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah, so I mean, how did you
reach out to them and book the shows and stuff?
Yeah. Like how do you know?
Yeah, I got my press package that's like a 3-page summary of who I am, my bio, and like here's some of the news articles, and here's a little link of my music, and talk about how I mix it and my reading, and just cold email.
Basically,
doing my own publicist and PR.
Basically, what am I trying to say?
It's cold.
Not a
email.
biography. It starts with an R. The word is R.
Like it's like a related to the book or
No,
the bookstore.
What you need before you get a job?
Oh, resume.
It's like a resume.
Yeah. Right. I think they call it. What they call it, a press kit or something. I need to make it professional. Cause see, dig this. I got 4 bookstores to let me do it, but at least like 15 either didn't respond and say no. And that's how it always is, right? When you trying to build something first, nobody's gonna jump. Nobody's gonna, the bookstores aren't paying me to come.
Yeah.
I have to put my own gas money in and do all of that stuff. So like, just pressing on and finding a place that's going to be willing to share my story.
Right.
And then now I got another joint. I'm going to put this link in the press kit. Or some press kits because, the little cursing and stuff.
I was trying not to, but it's
it's
our
okay.
history, so it ain't
we got to be real.
it's a podcast, man. We can say
say what the fuck we want. It's
Yeah.
good to finally, because usually when I'm on stuff like this, I can't curse. It's for the audience and but now it's, we're Bill Blast.
You can be your motherfucking self over here.
Yeah.
Fuck you want.
For
Take
real.
balls, dick. Yo, you ever think about reaching out to like New York radio, like Charlemagne or?
See, that's what I need to do. I need to get to that level. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you some real shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to Charlemagne podcast, which is called Real Idiots. Outside of
The Breakfast.
Breakfast Club, he's totally a different person.
Really?
The Breakfast Club,
It's talking
Charlemagne
shit.
is
drama.
it's the entertainment. Charlemagne. The podcast, the real.
That's what it's called, the real?
No. I'm saying the Charlemagne on radio is not real.
Mm.
That's him somewhat, but it's
That's
not
like his radio
the actual
personality.
real Charlemagne.
Okay.
The real Charlemagne is on the podcast, which I tell people all the time is a totally different type of monster.
What's the name of the podcast?
Brilliant Idiots. He's very smart, well educated.
Yeah, I can tell the brother's smart. I
mean,
can tell.
very smart. Put a lot of people on, dog. I mean,
I gotta hit him
let
up.
me tell you something. You need to try to get in contact with Charlemagne. I'm gonna be flat honest. In my heart, I believe truly that he will really fuck with you. Like,
What?
no, I'm dead ass.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I gotta hit him
for
up.
what you doing so far.
Mhm.
He looks into what you got going on.
Right.
He will see that what you have going. He will probably want to have you, if not on the podcast, on Breakfast Club, bro.
Right.
I mean,
I love to do that. Rock out there.
he deals with a lot of people like you.
Right. Yeah. No, I see you getting on that.
Like, people probably don't know. People think you're a fuck nigga, but outside of that radio shit, for people who do what you do, he always give them a chance. He always look out. He try to invest in you or try to put you in these places.
That. Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to him.
A lot of people don't know, man. I would tell people all the time, yo, try to fuck with Charlamagne, bro.
Yeah, it's not worth do a press kit.
How much shit Charlamagne do for a lot of people, you know, and he loves the person like you love.
Right.
Charlamagne will love what you do.
Oh man,
I mean, if you get a chance, bro. Listen, when you get a chance,
I'm sending it to him and everybody else. Man.
Him and I each one. This is what I do, blah blah blah.
And this is gonna be in it. This podcast,
especially with the Jesse Williams thing and all that. It's like you're looking to like, oh shit, like this brother really got something going on. You know what? I think I'm going. You'd be surprised, man. Don't take that personality from radio.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be real. I don't like his radio personality.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it, but if you listen to this fucking podcast,
I gotta do it.
Yo, I learned a lot of shit listening to Charlamagne. I mean,
I see his style in the way you interview it, like, because every time I watch it, there's been a few moments where it's just like you answer, you so real, where people are like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, but like, if you listen to the podcast, you be like, oh shit, like Charlamagne's super fucking smart. He knows what's going on in the world.
Yeah, you know, check that out.
You'd be surprised. I tell you, like, don't take that radio shit too real, man. Because he tell you, like, my radio, that's just radio, but I do that shit just for the. That's what they want. That's that's gotta bring the money out.
That personality, yeah. But that's good to know. He has another layer.
Like say for instance, he interviews you on radio, and he gonna bug out with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then if you bring it to the podcast, it's like he gets into the, why, you doing what you're doing, like. Oh, that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
instead of just being funny as hell. Like,
hey,
you sold drugs? Like, how many drugs you sold? You know what I'm saying? But when he's on the joint, like, yo, how many schools you went to? It differs.
Yeah, I'm going to have to consult you on when I read through my press.
Bro, listen, while you out here, I'm telling you, man, while you out here, you say you going to Brooklyn?
Yeah, I'm on Brooklyn on Monday. So actually Sunday, yeah, so I need to.
You get a chance, if you out there, yo, try to find a way, contact them or pop up the radio station.
Yeah, no, I'm doing my press release. I'm gonna send it to him too. Because like,
got you. He just had somebody on the podcast not too long ago. The kid, he did a movie, whatever he did, and Charlamagne brought on the podcast. Nice. He also brought these other kids on the podcast. They do trivia, Martin trivia. You ever heard of
oh yeah, they released the like the game thing, right?
Yeah, it was Charlamagne brought them on.
Oh, wow.
And when they broke the story down, I'm like, oh shit, like, that was the smartest shit in the world.
Yeah, people love that.
They bought the trademark Martin.
Oh, yeah, I guess you have to, because you ain't going to be able to use it.
It was never bought.
Really?
No.
Yeah, people don't know that. Like, you don't trademark something until you trademark it. Copyright is different from trademark.
So they bought it. So now if they use that fucking logo, they gotta pay them brothers that money.
Martin gotta pay to use that logo. Yeah.
They said because the story was Martin put on the Instagram, he put the eyes up under their shit like, I see what y'all doing. They said they got nervous and oh shit, like he gonna sue us. Mm-hmm. So they went they went the legal way and was like, nobody owns it. Nobody owns it at all. Like,
you never know until you research, man.
So then they started doing Different World. Like, you start buying all them shits, bro. Right. Them shits started to come back out 10 years from now. Right. It's a hit, success.
People use shirts and stuff.
Use my shit now.
Yeah.
For real. CBS or whoever the fuck you wear, you gotta pay me now.
For real.
Yeah, but I want to come through the sign my man sleep. I think it is.
It's late. It's 1 a.m, man.
Man. This is a very long interview, but it was well deserved.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Long overdue, man. 78. Yeah. How did I not get here before 78?
Because you're out there doing better work.
And you got to come to LA and do a podcast on there, man.
I love to.
Crash at the spot.
Love to do some podcasts.
And I see you get the press access passes sometimes, too. So, like.
Yeah, I try, bro. I try reaching out. Like, I hear people like, yo, what's up? The run I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get on other podcasts and other shows. I actually got on a show. Shout out to Tori, indeed, Vibe Divide Radio. She had me as a guest.
Right.
I actually were a guest as well. So right now I'm just trying to get on different podcasts. I hit people, I'm like, yo, what's up, what's linked?
Yeah, that's what it's about, man.
We get on your podcast, and sometimes people think it's competition. I'm not.
Nah, man.
I'm not here competing, bro.
Yo, and we gotta collab.
My shit is different from everybody
Everything, yeah,
else's.
exactly.
Everybody else does worldwide news, and everybody's shit is almost the same. Like people would tell me, like, yo, I want to do a podcast. I'm like, yo, if you want to do a podcast, steer away from you doing what everybody else
is doing. Right.
Oh, Trump was in the news today. Oh, you see LeBron dunk on it? Like, don't.
Yeah, it's already those stories being told.
Story. Yo, if you want to come do a shirt podcast. Like, dope a shirt out right now. Like, keep your subject and content. Content is always,
like you do.
I learned the content,
ciphers and everything.
Yeah, I learned that content from listening to Charlamagne. I learned all this shit.
Yeah.
This knowledge shit is from. I learned doing the podcast shit from Charlamagne, Joe Budden, and
Joe Budden's
the homie
Jersey.
Tex.
Shout out to Jersey.
The homie Tex song. You know what I mean? But you should think about another podcast, man.
Yeah, no, we should do a Knucklehead podcast, man.
I'm just about to say you should do
Knucklehead podcast. And they got my new favorite podcast is Ear Hustle. But then
fire.
Yeah,
I was just about to give you that idea.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would listen to Ear Hustle.
No,
I was about to figure out like, you should go to the youth.
Incarcerated youth. Ear Hustle is in San Quentin. In California, actually.
Second season drop yet? Nah, right?
Nah, and I'm just halfway through the first one. I listened to that on the road trip. Yeah, I didn't finish it, but it's fire.
It's quick though, 30 minutes.
Yeah, and man,
I ran through that shit in a week.
Yeah,
because I'm always listening to podcasts.
Yeah,
it's another podcast.
It's
I had to stop listening to it because it made me so fucking mad. It's about incarceration. Fuck is the name of the podcast? Every story on there is about somebody who locked up for 30 years and something they didn't do.
Shit. So like innocent people.
Yeah, I mean
those are worst stories, man. It's a lot of those. Shout out to everybody. Free everybody.
The very first episode was the Central Park in
the Central Park 5. Yeah.
The very first episode they had the guy who told the story.
Yeah, they spent 17 years. Yeah. 16. They were 16 years old. They just that's what free the youth. Like America puts more kids.
30 fucking years. Everybody on that podcast did 25 years. And they tell a story, and then they finally get exonerated. It's like, yo, you did all that time for a cop saying that this, like, I had to stop listening to it. My fucking brain, I couldn't take it no more. Like, I can't listen to this shit no more.
The system is crazy, man. This joint's called It's a Trap, man. It's a trap, man. This next joint's called It's a Trap, man, because it's a trap, man. It's a trap, caution, warning, careful, danger, watch it, bad. It's a caution, warning, careful, danger, watch it, bad. Caution, warning, careful, danger, watch it, bad.
warning, careful, danger, watch it, back. It's a caution, warning, careful, danger, watch it, back. Caution, warning, careful, danger, watch it, back. Book 1, Origins. During the first 19 years of his life, Amir's engulfed in a war without realizing it. Poverty and the war on drugs and trap his neighborhood into a cycle of addiction, incarceration, and chaos. Dominates the drug trade at age 15, brings the world to his fingertips until he and his mother are arrested in a police raid. Amir struggles through the rest of his teenage years after being kicked out of school and lured back into the trap. Out of the grind of the city war zone, plagued with drugs, violence, and death, transforms him into a resilient young man. One difficult lesson at a time. Yeah. Get it.
Caution, careful, danger, watch it, back.
Yeah. Caution, warning, careful, danger, watch it, back. Get it. Caution, warning, careful, danger, watch it, back. Caution, warning, careful, danger, watch your back.